Hi guys and welcome to Chengi's World. Thank you so much for joining me. I love you guys. Thank you so much for coming back. For those of you who are always checking out my videos, I know who you are. I know who you are. You are there front and center. You are watching. I know you can't even wait for the little announcement. You see Chengi's World and you're like, yes, I'm in there. Thank you so much for watching my channel. I love you guys. You are Chengi's World. You are my world. You literally make up my world. And I am so blessed to have you on board. So thank you so much for sharing, liking, or commenting and following me on Instagram and Facebook. Hey, hey, hey. And thank you so much for sharing. And for those of you who are new to the channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you stop by a little bit more and become part of my world. And before you go, make sure you press the subscribe button and make sure you give a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Leave a comment because I'm always interested in what people have to say. Thank you so much. And I will see you guys on the other side. See you in a second. Right, so I'm back. Oh, I tell you. So today's video is entitled Hurt Feelings. This is something that really just has been resonating with me and really touched my heart. I was driving to church the other day and it really just, it just sort of downloaded to me this idea that we, as women, often, we have our feelings hurt. And instead of articulating that to our partner or to the person that we're dating or the person in our lives, we don't articulate those words. We don't say, actually, what you said just really hurt my feelings. What we do is we manifest those hurt feelings as anger and bitterness and coldness. And one of the things that really struck me is that men don't mind. Nobody wants to make anybody angry and nobody wants to make anybody cold and numb and horrible. But one of the things that we need to realize is that men don't mind so much making their woman angry. It's like, oh, she's angry with me. Oh God, she's angry with me. I'm just gonna have to be in the doghouse for like a few weeks. And then I'll come out of the doghouse after a few days. And making you angry is not so bad because we can laugh about that. You know, we can go and have a laugh about that with the boys tonight and they're gonna like, oh, your missus is angry, or your girlfriend's angry, or the girl you're dating is really angry, or we go off the rail, we stop talking and we become sulky, or we become really cold, or we begin to really become bitter or nasty. And that guy has no idea what is going on with you in his mind. Gosh, I only didn't come home on time for 2 days and now I've made it angry. So if I come home on time for the next couple of days and I'm a really good boy, then it's all going to be fine. But really what he is responding to is your anger. What he's responding to is a manifestation of your hurt feelings, but he has no idea that you are actually hurt. And I need to say this because we have been brought up as women in a society where don't let him think he's getting to you. Don't let that boy think he's getting to you. So you just put on a front and just let him know that you just won't whatever and be sassy and just let him know. Because guess what? We don't want to be vulnerable. No, because vulnerability is weakness, you see, because we've been taught in the modern day that a woman being vulnerable is somehow being weak. And if a man sees weakness, he's going to manipulate and exploit it. So you better hide your vulnerability. You hide that. But what we don't realize is that vulnerability is in fact power. Being vulnerable enough. I know it's hard when you're hurt to say to somebody, that hurt my feelings. What you said, when you don't come home after work and you do this and do that and the other, and I see you lost, it hurts my feelings and it makes me feel like I am last to be considered and first to be sacrificed. It makes me feel. Now I want to say something about a bit of language here because I want to be a little bit practical with you in this video. It's not fair to somebody to say to someone, and it's not right in good, correct communication to say to somebody, you make me feel like I'm worthless. You make me feel like I don't count. You don't make me feel pretty. You make me feel like I am fat and ugly. You make me feel like I don't count. You see, that is never going to yield good results. That's going to yield in a huge, massive battle. It's going to result in two people fighting and resenting each other and being further away in your relationship. What you can say is, when you do this, because guess what? We're all entitled to do whatever we like, whether you like it or not. But when you do this, it makes me feel. It makes me feel. And don't be afraid to talk about your feelings. You know, a true man who truly loves you, he will respect your feelings. He will cherish your feelings. So you need to feel free to say, it makes me feel. Don't use think, because that's masculine. I'm not saying that women don't think. We are thinkers. We're very, very smart people. But I'm saying that when you are talking to masculine energy, they understand feelings, they cherish feelings, but they compete with thoughts. So we don't want to get competitive with our man. We want to try and communicate our feelings. So when you do A, it makes me feel. You're not making me feel this way. It is that action, that behavior makes me feel a certain kind of way. So when you change your behavior, then it will make me feel different. And this is a two-way street. It can't be, you know, when you misbehave, it makes me feel like I'm a dragon, or it makes me feel like whatever. It can also be all the time. When you bring me flowers, it makes me feel like the most beautiful girl in the world. Like you think about me all the time. When you tell me I'm beautiful, it makes me feel like I can fly or whatever. Because you have to also give that positive affirmation. And I think I've done a video on getting what you want, and we went into that more. But in this video, I want to talk about, baby girl, your feelings count and your feelings matter, and hiding them and acting like you don't feel and covering up your vulnerability is only making you lose in the game of love. Because guess what? Contrary to public opinion or what we've been brought up to think, men are human beings with emotions. They understand feelings. They may have been taught not to honor them or use them to make decisions, or to use them in the way that as women we're comfortable with them. Men cry too, men feel hurt too, men feel insulted too, men feel broken too, men feel abused and taken for granted too, men feel the same things that we feel too. So they understand feelings. They might not want to use them to operate, or to not have the ability to communicate their feelings in the way that they're comfortable with, but they feel too, and they understand and appreciate feelings. And what you need to do is understand that if you share those hurt feelings with your man, I'm hurt, I feel so worthless to you because we've been dating for such a long time and you've not even put a ring on it. It makes me feel like trash. It makes me feel like I'm disposable. You're not making me feel that way, but your behavior, you're making me wait, is making me feel a certain kind of way. And let me tell you something. Sometimes we feel like we have to be so brave and not let that guy see our tears and our brokenness. But there's a time in your life where you need to let that man see how much it is hurting you. It's okay to cry. But let me just say something about tears. And I need to put a little disclaimer here and footnote. Tears must never be used to manipulate a guy. Look, the worst thing men, they can't cope with the tears. Okay? They just can't cope with them because they don't know how to react to them. When we cry, we want them to hold us tight and let us sob in their arms and tell us it's going to be okay. But most guys just don't know what to do with the tears. So, you know, they just sort of, whatever, feel uncomfortable and the whole thing gets messy and they don't hear what you're saying and the inner world just gets into turmoil. But tears have a purpose. You know, tears can still communicate if those tears are not manipulative, ladies. Don't use your tears to manipulate. But if in that moment, look, what we do is we take our hurt feelings to our girlfriend, we cuss down our man, let our girlfriend, you know what, I want to slap him and he really hurt me, and then we go and cry on her shoulders, and then we come home and we got attitude. Who do you think you are? Or we go on a date, or when we speak to him on the phone, or whenever it is that we see him, but we haven't communicated that pain. Sometimes it's okay for him to realize that his actions are causing that much pain in you. And Acting bitter and hurt and angry and cold and distant is never going to communicate what you want. It's only going to drive you guys apart. So this video is to say, honor your feelings, be open to vulnerability. It takes so much courage and so much strength to be vulnerable before the man that you love, because if you love him, you need to communicate to him. You need to, if you're dating, even in a dating scenario, a guy who's treating you a certain kind of way, not calling, not do whatever, you let him know that when you don't call, it hurts my feelings. It makes me feel like I don't matter, and I don't want to be with somebody who hurts my feelings. Let that guy know. And I know so many of us never really share to the person we're dating, we're courting, and we're married to, that they're hurting our feelings. We just think that our anger or our bitterness or our numbness or our distance or our reserve is going to communicate to them, but they have no idea. They simply have no idea how much hurt and pain and resentment is therefore building up as a result. So I want to say to you girls, take off the cloak of anger and all these manifestations and wear your heart on your sleeve. Not all the time about everything. You have to be, and I know that you guys who watch Chengi's World, you're smart, you're savvy, you're wise women, you have depth. So what I'm saying here is not something to be used as a kind of foolish tool, but I am trying to give to you a tool that will reach into your man's heart and bring about the change that brings about reconciliation and brings about love and blossoming and brings a fresh start to the relationship, and perhaps can take the relationship to the next level. And that is being vulnerable before him. It's okay. You are a woman. It's okay. We feel and we hurt and we communicate that hurt. And we don't leave the other person with a guilt trip. We leave them understanding that their actions causing us to feel a certain kind of way. And we leave them with the decision to do something about it or show us who they truly are by doing nothing about it. In which case, you need to watch my other videos on ultimatums, etc. But this is from me to you girls, saying you don't have to be brave all the time. You don't have to be tough all the time. You don't have to be, I got this. You can just be vulnerable. You can be vulnerable and tell the man how you're feeling. So Chengi loves you lots. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe, like, and comment. I'll see you on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.